Republicans, they must be getting some major kickback money. And you know how it always is. Follow the money. And these guys have gotten so corrupted, McConnell, Boehner, all of them, that this is treason. So what are we going to do as citizens? I think what we should do is make a citizen's arrest of all of them.
Thank you for the call, Joseph. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. 1-855-400-7282. It's very telling. Isn't it telling that Orrin Hatch even admits he doesn't even know what's in the bill? Why would the Republicans cave to President Obama? Did you elect, if you're listening right now, no matter what state you're in, do you elect a Republican to go there saying, I want you to vote and go along with the president's agenda? I need you there to support him. I would think if you wanted that, then you would have voted for a Democrat to go along. I think the whole reason is to try to work out their agenda and pass their agenda, not cave to the president's agenda. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. This is John DePietro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage, and this is the Savage Nation.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
My Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com. It's the only company I trust to protect my wealth. Call 800-BUI-COIN.
You're listening to the Savage Nation. This is John DePietro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage. You're welcome to join the program. You can call 1-855-400-SAVAGE, 1-855-400-7282. Log on to our website, michaelsavage.com. Make sure you read Countdown to Mecca. You can order it. It's Dr. Savage's new book. Order it from the website or also available in stores right now. Well, a story that certainly has America talking. Boy Scout president calls for an end to a ban on gay leaders. Now, Robert Gates, the president of the Boy Scouts of America, former Secretary of Defense, has now called to end the Scouts' ban on gay adult leaders, warning the group's executives, we must deal with the world as it is, not as we may wish it to be. Gates calling for an end of the ban on gay adult scout leaders. Let's go out to your calls. Line 2, Joe Berto is listening on WMAL in Washington. Joe Berto, you're up on the Savage Nation. Hello.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to say I'm so proud of my son for making Eagle Scout last year.
That's great.
He aged out, and we don't have to deal with any of that. And if we have to deal with the world the way it is, do you think in the Middle East, in Boy Scouts, they allow homosexuality? That's all I got.
Thank you for the call, Gilberto. Someone pointed out to me two very key points here. Number one, most scout groups are sponsored by a church. So why should church groups have this kind of shoved down their throat? And number two, another very important part, is most of the scout leaders that are involved are parents of scouts. So if someone is not a parent, why would they then want to get involved with the Boy Scouts? Do you agree with Robert Gates, the president of the Boy Scouts of America, calling for an end to the Scouts ban on gay adult leaders? 1-855-400-SAVAGE. 1-855-400-7282. Let's go to line 7. Tom is listening on WMAL in Washington. Tom, this is John DePietro. You're up on the Savage Nation. Hello.
Hello. Thanks. Quick history lesson. I am an Eagle Scout. Back in the late 70s, there was a rash. I got to remind people. It's been so many years, they've forgotten. There was a major rash of multi-million-dollar lawsuits against the Boy Scouts because of a whole slew of molestations that came to shed light on. And tens of thousands of parents in a panic started pulling their kids out of scouting. There was a major crisis in scouting at the time. I know because I was a scout. I was a senior leader at the time. And the Boy Scouts really had, they didn't have an official policy in it. They just didn't think about it. But now they went ahead and put a ban on gays and started doing screening on serious screening on leadership. Of course, the gay community and the ACLU and everybody started screaming bloody murder. The argument they used was studies have shown that the overwhelming majority of pedophiles, pedophiles are heterosexual, not homosexual. Well, it's totally immaterial to the argument, because we were talking about a rash of male scout leaders that were molesting boys. By definition, that's a homosexual act. Their argument was, but they're heterosexual because, look, a lot of them were married. No, that would make them bisexual, which, by the way, is the B in the LGBT. The point is, it's true that not all gays are pedophile, not even most gays are pedophile.
Right.
But the problem is, still, there is no need and there's too much threat and risk there. And when they did pass this, all of a sudden the lawsuits started going way down and the cases went way down. There's just no need for it. But here's the reason that they want in. It's the same thing they've done. They've successfully done it in some of the Presbyterian and Episcopalian churches. They have the same mentality. It's the Saul Alinsky process. Just convert from the inside. That you can't convert, destroy. They want to trade into the Boy Scouts because they want to change it to the inside and gut it from what it is and turn it into because it is one of those, just like churches. Yep. It's a bastion of resistance to them. They need to destroy the resistance. They get inside and change it to the inside. If that doesn't.
Thank you, Tom. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. John DePietro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage. This is the Savage Nation. You're listening to the Savage Nation. This is John DePietro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage. You're welcome to call into the program 1-855-400-SAVAGE. 1-855-400-7282. As always, visit our website, michaelsavage.com. You can see all the latest stories and also find out more about Dr. Savage's new book, which is Countdown to Mecca. It's available. You can order it on the website. Also available at better bookstores near you. I'm looking at some of the headlines that are crossing. How about TLC has pulled all episodes of 19 Kids and Counting? It's a popular reality TV show about the Duggar family amid allegations that their oldest child molested underage girls when he was a teenager. TLC has said, we're deeply saddened and troubled by this heartbreaking situation. Josh Duggar, 27, issued an apology, quit his job, following that bombshell article that claimed he had fondled 5 young girls aged 12 years ago. As a teenager, I'm extremely sorry, deeply regret what I did, hurt others. But TLC, now this is the second one. They had the problem with the mother on Honey Boo Boo dating I believe it was a sex offender. Let's get back to your phone calls. Robert Gates inflaming many people, saying it's time for the Boy Scouts to end their ban on gays as scout leaders. Let's go out to your calls, starting with line 5. Bob is listening on WJR in Detroit. Bob, you're up on the Savage Nation. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Very well. Go right ahead, Bob.
I have a comment on this Boy Scout thing.
Yes, sir.
To me, the Boy Scouts are rooted in Christianity. It's just another attack by the gay agenda to uproot the Boy Scouts and any other Christian establishments out there. It's just, to me, it's similar to the bakeries, the florists that don't want to provide their services for same-sex marriages. It's no different to me.
It is, it's funny you said that, Bob, because a lot of people, and I think you would agree, a lot of people feel that this is more about religion than it is about sexual preference. What do you think?
I totally agree. There is a definite attack on Christianity these days. And actually, I'm a Christian. I believe it's a sign of the end. But nonetheless, it's still there.
Well, Bob, but don't you, thank you for the call, Bob, don't you find, you always hear about tolerance, folks, but there doesn't seem to be any tolerance for Christians or anyone that holds a religious belief that seems to go against what their beliefs are. Rich is calling from WABC on line 6 in New York. Rich, this is John DePietro, and you're up on the Savage Nation. Hello, Rich.
Oh, hello.
Hi there, Rich. Go right ahead.
Yes, sir. I was a former Boy Scout in the 60s and have great memories, and this will decrease the number of applicants or people going into the Boy Scouts. I would have never gone in if I was. I would have never joined if I knew this was the case of homosexual scout masters.
Thank you for the call, Rich. Again, it's Robert Gates, former defense secretary. He is saying that the time is now, and you have to. This is the way life is right now. We have to deal with the world as it is, not as we may wish it to be. And the status quo in the Boy Scouts cannot be sustained. Line 4, Sharon is listening online to the Savage Nation. Sharon, you're up. Good morning. Hello, Sharon.
Hi, John.
Hi there, Sharon. Go right ahead.
I'm listening to all of this, and today's my shred day, so with each shred I'm getting rid of a lot of animosities built up.
Glad to hear
anyway, that. I keep hearing, we keep talking about the atrocities of Hatch and McConnell and the atrocities here now, the Boy Scouts. But I'd like to hear what can we do? I would like to hear, we can't wait for another election when they do these things because it's too long to wait in between. So what can we do short of taking our names off of the registration for Republican and go re-register independent? What else can we do?
Well, thank you for the call, Sharon. Sharon's referring to the fact that many people, myself included, feel that the Republican leadership is caving to the Obama administration. I think they have to, like everything else, Sharon, they have to be held accountable. And they have to go back to why they're sent there in Washington. There's far too many deals that are cut. There's just far too much caving to the politically correct. And people have to remember why they were sent there and who they're truly supposed to be representing when they get there. Let's go to line 9. Billy is listening on WABC in New York. Billy, you're up on the Savage Nation. Hello, Billy.
All right, great show, John.
Thank you, Billy.
And talking to the Savage Nation. But first, I would like to say something about Memorial Day before the Boy Scouts. Sometimes you wonder why some 18-year-old American boys are on a battlefield when other 18-year-old American boys are on a baseball field. I have no answer for that, but I could tell you, lucky for America, the right ones were on the battlefield, and they are true warriors. And this thing about the Boy Scouts and the leaders putting gays in there, gays in the leadership positions in the Boy Scouts, is they're forcing these people to take something that they don't want. So to me, it's just another giant wrecking ball that's going through Western civilization, and no one is doing anything about it. This wrecking ball is like an open field, and it's taking everything out in its way, and it's turning everything under its upside down, and the average American is against this.
Thank you for the call, Billy. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. 1-855-400-7282. Let's go to line 2. John is listening on WMAL in our nation's capital. John, this is John DePietro, and you're up on the Savage Nation.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Very welcome.
First thing is wasn't Gates head of the Department of Defense when they got rid of the don't ask, don't tell policy?
Correct.
That's one issue. The second issue is that what they're doing, I feel strongly about, is against the Scout Oath. On my honor, I would do my best, do my duty to God and country, to obey the Scout laws, and help other people all the time, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. I'm 63 years old, and I still remember that. Okay? So it's another erosion of the standards of this nation. And as we go into Memorial Day, are we doing all those veterans that gave their lives for principles of morals and freedoms of this country, are we doing them a service? I think Gates should step down from the leader of the Boy Scouts. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. 1-855-400-7282. Again, Robert Gates, he is the president of the Boy Scouts, former Secretary of Defense. He called to end the Scouts' ban on gay adult leaders, saying we have to deal with the world as it is. Now,